The next step in the progression is what we call clean pull from the pins. The advantage of working off the pins or the safety rails is that it allows you to continue to work on emphasizing your start position without worrying about holding the weight as much in between your reps. So it gives you a chance to kind of relax into figuring out the start position, figuring out the triple extension, and getting that down before you progress any further. When doing this, go ahead and step up to here. No, actually to there. You need to set pins, and most gyms will have some sort of a squat rack or a rack where you can do this. And this can actually become your go-to situation because a lot of gyms may not want you to do cleans from the floor because it makes too much noise. If you're in an athletic facility, that's not a problem, but sometimes if you have to go to a fitness facility, that becomes an issue. So this is always your go-back to in terms of working from the pins if they have a facility like this. You want to be a couple inches above the knee. You wouldn't want it to be mid-thigh, but again, just a couple inches above the knee is the start position for where you want the rails to be. She's then going to step in the middle of the rack, and she's going to roll the bar all the way into her legs. She's going to set her hips way back. Okay? And notice her legs are fairly straight. You can even go a little bit straighter. Not quite that straight. Right there. Perfect. Okay? So take note of that start position. And from there, you don't really want a counter movement, because if you do a counter movement, which means if she went, just don't actually do it, I mean demonstrate it, but don't go hard. If she went down and then exploded up, it would be a sudden torque on the low back, and she has a chance of hurting her back doing that. So what we want to see is, as much as possible, and there will be a little bit of a counter movement, as much as possible, her first motion needs to be up. So the first time, all I want her to do is she's going to stand slowly, extend everything all the way up under her toes, and shrug up. Go ahead. Good. Okay, then she's going to get back into her start position. If that feels awkward for you, you should probably try that a couple more times. With Kiani, we're going to progress to the next thing. She makes sure the bar is close to her legs again. Okay? She's going to jump and shrug. So she's going to do the same thing she just did. She's going to do full triple extension with the shrug at the top, and she's going to do it at full speed. Go ahead. Good. Notice again, there was very little counter movement. Go ahead and do another one. Good. And notice, and it's a very quick thing, everything is in full alignment when she gets up into that triple extension. Go ahead. Good. And each time she gets back into that start position. We'll just do one more. Good. That's clean pull from the pins. And again, this is a go back to anytime you're in a facility where you don't feel comfortable doing cleans out in the open. It's a great teach method. It's something we often do for several weeks with a lot of my teams. But it's a good starting place before you get out of the rack and onto the platforms or anything else. Kiani already demonstrated during the Olympic lift section front squat, but you can also sometimes do a front squat during your regular routine. So Doug's going to demonstrate. Your hands are about shoulder width. You bring the elbows up to straight in front of you. And when he squats, he still leads with his hips. And notice he still gets that good depth. Again, I've got that safety rail still out of there. You would want that in there when you were doing these. Emphasis, again, is on those elbows staying high, sitting back as best as you can. Underhand lat pull down, you're going to take a grip a little bit closer. So you're going to be just shoulder width or a little bit wider. And when Katie sits down, she's going to be in the same position otherwise. She's going to lean back slightly with her knees under the pad. She's going to take her shoulders back, get her head out of the way so when she pulls down, she pulls to the mid-chest now. And we're trying to make sure that you want to think as though there's a string coming down. You can go again. String coming down from the elbow straight to the floor and then back behind her. So she's working a little bit more bicep as she pulls down, but it's still working her lats through the upper back. And notice the control, both on the way up and the way down. That's underhand lat pull down.